Hello dear student. Today we are discussing remaining part of chapter 5th organizing. We have already discussed yesterday about meaning of organizing, significance of organizing, process of organizing, functional structure, divisional structure and formal organization. Today we will discuss about informal organization, difference between formal informal organization, delegation of authority, elements of delegation of authority, importance, decentralization and importance of decentralization. So we are starting from informal organization. In the formal organizational structure, individuals are assigned various job positions. While working at those job positions, the individuals interact with each other and develop some social and friendly group in the organization. This network of social and friendly group form another structure in the organization which is called informal organizational structure. In formal organization, all the job position each and every individual know very well because all the process fulfilled by formal activity means job position, rights and duties and responsibilities very clearly defined in formal organization. But when a person work in any organization, any enterprises, they all are interact to each other and develop a social and friendly relationship between them and create an organization structure. It is called informal organization. Formal organization में each and every rights and duties and job position clearly defined होती है, written में होती है और राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज़ को फुलफिल करना कंपलसरी है. फॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वर्क करते हुए सभी लोग साथ में एक दूसरे से इंटरेक्ट भी करते हैं. When they are interact to each other, create a social relationship between them, friendly relationship between them. In this case, create a structure. It is called informal organization. जब वो काम करते करते आपस में बातचीत करते हैं एक दूसरे से तो वहाँ पर उनके सोशल रिलेशन क्रिएट होते हैं, वो एक दूसरे के फ्रेंड बन जाते हैं तो फ्रेंडली रिलेशन भी क्रिएट होते हैं. तो सोशल और फ्रेंडली रिलेशन के क्रिएट होने पर एक और स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट होता है. इट इज़ कॉल्ड इनफॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. The informal organization structure gets created automatically and the main purpose of such structure is getting psychological satisfaction. The existence of informal structure depend upon the formal structure because people working at different job position interact with each other to form informal structure and job position are created in formal structure. Informal structure created by formal structure because informal structure provided job position to each and every superior and each and every subordinates, and when they work together they interact to each other and create a formal create a social and friendly relation and then automatically created informal structure. So we can say that informal organization structure created by the formal organizational structure and also informal organizational structure created automatically when the employee of the organization, subordinates of the organization, superior of the organization interact to each other when they are doing work in the organization. So at the end we can say that when the subordinates superior work together and they are interact to each other, create a organization structure, it is called informal organization. In informal organization structure, created relation socially and friendly. Now difference between formal and informal organization. Formal organization created by planned manner, and informal organization structure created spontaneously without any planning. Means formal organization structure created by planned manner, and informal does not created by planned manner. Number 2, the purpose of formal organization structure is to work systematically and achieve the organizational goal. And the purpose of informal structure is to get psychological satisfaction. Number 3, under formal organization structure, the behavior of the employee decided by the manager. All the activities and behavior and function decided by the manager in formal organization structure. But in informal organizational structure, there is no control of the management over the behavior of the members. But in informal organization, behavior of the member, behavior of the employee does not control, does not maintained by the manager or superior. They are free to behave to each other. Number 4, under formal organization there is well-defined organization structure which decide the scalar chain and define superior subordinate relationship. In formal organization, all the information very clearly defined, and each and every superior and subordinates know very well their relationship. But in the case of informal organization, there is no well-defined structure, no fixed superior or subordinate, and no scalar chain. In informal organization, socially relationship created, friendly relationship created, so there is no structure, no defined structure in informal organization. Number 5, under formal structure, all the information processed through a scalar chain, and the manager prefer written channels for communication. In informal organization, communication system maintained properly because communication system by the principle of scalar chain. And informal organization structure, there is no fixed path for communication for the passing of information, because all the relation in informal organization socially and friendly, so anybody can talk to each other in any manner, in any matter. Number 6, leadership. In informal organization structure, there is direct relation between authority and leadership, and under informal organization structure there is no relationship between authority and leadership. In formal organization, very clearly define the relation between authority and leadership, But informal organization, there is no fixed structure for the relation between authority and leadership. Stability of duration, the formal structure is more stable and durable, but informal organization structure is not very stable because employee can change their friendly and social group whenever they desire. A structure of formal organization is stable and durable, but a structure of informal organization not durable and not stable because socially relationship can change and friendly relationship also change whenever they desire. Eighth point, under formal organization structure, the employees strictly have to follow the rules and regulation, and in case they are not follow the rules and regulation, there will be penalty on them. All the rules and regulation followed by the employee in formal organization because it is compulsory. If they not follow rules and regulation, they get penalty. But in formal organization, there is no rules and regulation for the member. Number 9, the formal structure is an independent structure which can exit systematically after the organizing process is over. An informal organization structure depend upon formal organization structure. In short, we can say that formal structure independent, but informal organization structure fully dependent on formal structure. Number 10, authority flows from top to bottom, and authority can flow in all the direction. In formal organization, authority flow from top to bottom. An informal organization authority flow in any direction, किसी भी डायरेक्शन में authority का flow हो सकता है. Now, delegation of authority. In every organization, manager are assigned lot of work, and manager alone cannot perform all the work. He divides the work among different individuals working under him according to their qualification and get the work done from them. The manager begins with a sharing of his responsibility with subordinates. He deliberately passes some of the responsibility to his subordinates. After passing the responsibility, the manager also shares some of his authority, that is, power to make decision with his subordinates so that the responsibility can be carried on properly. So make sure that his subordinates perform all the work effectively and efficiently in the expected manner. The manager create accountability, and this whole process is known as delegation. So delegation can be defined as a process of entrusting responsibilities and authority to the subordinates and creating accountability on those employees who are entrusted responsibility and authority. Delegation of authority. We know very well, in an organization, manager have lot of responsibility, lot of workload. So when a manager reduce their burden, reduce their load of work, or divide their workload between the subordinates according to their ability, according to their skill and qualification, and also provided some authority to fulfill the responsibility or fulfill the task, this process is called delegation of authority. Also we can say that in delegation of authority, manager reduce their workload to subordinates and provided also some authority to fulfill the responsibility. It is called delegation of authority. And when manager provided responsibility, also provided authority, because when provided authority according to responsibility, the work is completed effectively and efficiently and in proper manner. So all this process is called delegation of authority. Now, elements of delegation or process of delegation. There are three elements of delegations: responsibility, authority, and accountability. Responsibility means the work assigned to an individual. It includes all the physical and mental activities to performed by the employee at the particular job position. The process of delegation begins when manager passes some of his responsibility to his subordinates, which means responsibility can be delegated. First element, responsibility. When a manager provided any job, any activity to subordinates or provided to some employee or given to some employee according to their job position, this is called responsibility. In delegation process, the first step provided responsibility to employee for completion of task. Number two, authority. Authority means power to take decision. To carry on responsibility, every employee need to have some authority. So when manager are passing their responsibility to subordinate, they also pass some of the authority to the subordinates. The delegating authority is the second step of organizing process. While sharing the authority, manager keep in mind that the authority matching to the responsibility should only be delegated. They shall not pass all their authority to their subordinates. After providing responsibility, after giving the responsibility to employee for fulfilling the responsibility, manager also provided authority to employee according to responsibility. Because for fulfilling the responsibility, authority is must. And when manager provided authority, then made the responsibility with authority and then provided to employee some authority for taking decision. And also we can say that when delegated responsibilities, authority is compulsory for fulfill the responsibilities for completion of responsibilities. So manager provided the authority according to responsibility to the employee. And important authority always restricted in hand of superior. Less important and match with the responsibilities, authority provided to employee for fulfilling the responsibility. Number third, accountability. To make sure that the employees are subordinate, perform their responsibility in their expected manner, the accountability is created. Accountability means subordinate will be answerable for the non-completion of the task. Creating accountability in the third and final step of delegation process. The accountability cannot be processed or delegated. It can only be shared with the subordinates, which means even after delegating responsibility and authority, the manager will be accountable for non-completion of tasks. Accountability means when task is not completed, then who will give answer for incompletion? It is called accountability. So, in the process of accountability, manager only provided responsibility and provided only authority, but all the responsibility of accountability in the hand of manager. Because if the task is not completed, no subordinates give the answer for incompletion, only answerable person is manager. So it is called accountability. So this is the last process of delegation of authority, or last process of or the last elements of delegation of authority. फर्स्ट है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. मैनेजर अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को, अपने एम्प्लॉय को पहले प्रोवाइड करता है. सेकंड है उस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को फुलफिल करने के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के अकॉर्डिंग अथॉरिटी प्रोवाइड करता है. और थर्ड ये है कि रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और अथॉरिटी तो मैनेजर प्रोवाइड कर देता है, लेकिन अगर टास्क इनकम्प्लीट रहता है तो उसके लिए कोई भी सबऑर्डिनेट्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं होगा, आंसरेबल नहीं होगा. टास्क के इनकम्प्लीट होने के केस में ओनली मैनेजर ही रिस्पॉन्सिबल होगा आंसर देने के लिए. सो इट इज़ कॉल्ड अकाउंटेबिलिटी. सो देयर आर 3 एलिमेंट्स ऑफ delegation process: responsibility, authority and accountability. Now difference between responsibility and accountability, and difference between authority and responsibility. First point, responsibility and accountability. Responsibility means all the physical and mental activities to be performed by an individual in the organization. And accountability means obligation to complete the job or to meet the responsibilities. Number 2, responsibility cannot be entirely delegated. A superior passes their responsibility to the subordinates. Accountability can never be delegated. Means responsibility can be delegated, but accountability cannot be delegated. Number 3, responsibility flow upward and accountability flow upward, because manager with more authority are more accountable, or you move up in the management, accountability increase. Next, difference between authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility. Authority means power to take decision, and responsibility means perform and job by individual. Number 2, authority arises because a formal position in the organization, and responsibility arises from the superior subordinates relationship. Number 3, authority always flow downward from superior to subordinates, and responsibilities flow upward as superior assign task or responsibility to subordinates. And last point, authority can be delegated and responsibility fully cannot delegate it. Our next topic, importance of delegation. First importance, effective management. In delegation process, manager passes routine work to the subordinates so they are free for concentrate on important task, on important matter. The main job of manager to get the work done effectively, and delegating the authority and responsibility, manager can get the work done effectively, efficiently from the subordinates. So in the case of delegation of authority, when manager provided their responsibilities, when provided their workload to subordinates, then manager concentrate on important task. And in the case of delegation of authority, in the case of delegation, when responsibility of manager reduce, they can manage overall business effectively and efficiently. Means we can say that effective management can be maintained by manager in the case of delegation. Number 2, employees development. As a result of delegation, employees get more opportunity to utilize their talent. It flows them to develop their skill, which help them to perform complex tasks. In the case of delegation, when manager provided their workload to employee, the talent of employees improve, the skill of the employee also improve, and performance of the employee improve. In this case, employees overall development properly and fully maintained in case of delegation. Number 3, motivation of the employee. In delegation, when the manager is sharing his responsibility and authority with the subordinate, it motivates the subordinates as they develop the feeling of belongingness and trust which is shown to them by their superior. Some employees can be motivated by such kind of non-financial intensity. In the case of delegation, manager provided workload to subordinates and also provided authority for making decision. In this case, employee get motivated because they feel the manager is trust to them, and in this case they feel satisfactory relationship between the superior and subordinates. In this case, the employee get motivated for hard work, get motivated for the achievement of the organizational goal. So in the case of delegation, employee also motivated. Number 4, facilitates organizational growth. In the process of delegation, when the manager are passing their responsibility and authority to the subordinates, they keep in mind the qualification and capability of all the subordinates. This leads to division of work and specialization, which is very important for organizational growth. In the case of delegation, when manager provided their work, when manager give their workload to employee according to their capability, according to their skill, according to their qualification and talent. In this case, when worker work repeatedly, then the worker get a specialist in those work. So benefit of specialty received by the organization in proper manner. Number 5, basis of management hierarchy. Delegation establishes superior subordinate relationship, which is the base of hierarchy of manager. The extent of power delegated to subordinates decide who will report to him, whom, and the power at each job position form the management hierarchy. In the case of delegation of authority, the power is delegated to subordinates, and in delegation process also decided that who will report to him. So accountability created for the manager and responsibility and authority can be delegated. So, basis of management hierarchy is the process of delegation of authority. Better coordination in delegation, systematically responsibility and authority is divided and employees are made answerable for non-completion of task. This systematic division of work gives a clear picture of work to everyone and there is no duplication of work. Clarity in the duties assigned and reporting relationship bring effective coordination in the organization. In the case of delegation, when manager provided workload to the employee and also provided the authority, in this case relation between the superior and subordinates maintained properly, because when work provided, when division of work made, then also provided authority and everyone know very well who is responsible for whose work, whom work, and every job, every duty is assigned to everyone according to their skill, qualification, and also provided authority. So, in this case, no duplication of work maintained in the organization. So, better coordination also maintain between the superior and subordinates and between the all employee in the organization. Reduce the workload of manager. In the process of delegation, manager reduced their workload and provided the workload to the subordinates to the employee. In this case, manager concentrate on important tasks, concentrate on growth of the organization and concentrate on the expansion of the business properly. So here the importance of delegation of authority. फर्स्ट इम्पोर्टेंस, डेलीगेशन प्रोसेस के थ्रू एक मैनेजमेंट की जो प्रोसेस है वो प्रॉपरली फुलफिल होती है, बिकॉज मैनेजर अपने वर्कलोड को अपने एम्प्लॉय को प्रोवाइड करता है और इम्पॉर्टेंट टास्क की ओर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करता है, जिससे मैनेजमेंट की प्रोसेस फुलफिल होती है, प्रॉपरली फुलफिल होती है. सो इफ़ेक्टिव मैनेजमेंट होता है. व्हेन डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी होती है तो एम्प्लॉय को वर्क करने का चांस मिलता है, मौका मिलता है, उनकी स्किल, उनकी क्वालिफिकेशन, उनका टैलेंट और डेवलप होता है. और थर्ड, व्हेन एक मैनेजर डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी के थ्रू अपने एम्प्लॉय को वर्कलोड प्रोवाइड करता है, अथॉरिटी प्रोवाइड करता है, तो इस केस में एम्प्लॉय अच्छा वर्क करने के लिए मोटिवेट होता है. नंबर 4, डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी के थ्रू जब वर्कर को हम वर्क करने के लिए वर्क प्रोवाइड करते हैं और वर्कलोड जब मैनेजर अपने वर्कर को प्रोवाइड करता है, उस केस में वर्कर एक ही काम को बार बार करते हुए उसमें स्पेशलिस्ट होता है, तो स्पेशलिटी का बेनिफिट पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की ग्रोथ के लिए बेनिफिटेड होता है. नंबर 5, बेटर कोऑर्डिनेशन. डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी के थ्रू सुपीरियर और सबॉर्डिनेट्स के रिलेशन प्रॉपरली मेंटेन होते हैं, डुप्लीकेशन ऑफ वर्क नहीं होता है. इस केस में प्रॉपर कोऑर्डिनेशन मेंटेन होता है और डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी के थ्रू मैनेजर अपने वर्क लोड को रिड्यूस करके इम्पॉर्टेंट टास्क पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करता है, जिससे मैनेजर जो है बिजनेस के एक्सपेंशन के लिए, ग्रोथ के लिए वर्क कर सकता है और उस केस में उसका वर्कलोड रिड्यूस हो जाता है और इम्पॉर्टेंट टास्क की ओर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करता है. सो इट इज़ द इम्पॉर्टेंस ऑफ डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी. आवर नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, सेंट्रलाइजेशन एंड डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. Centralization refers to concentration of power or authority in few hands. When authority in a restricted hand, in a few hands, that is top level, and all decision making by top level only, it is called centralization. And when authority systematically distributed from top level to lower level, it is called decentralization. Means more important authority in restricted hand of top level and less important authority for completion of task provided to a subordinates. This process is called decentralization. Centralization means authority in restricted hand, in few hand, and decentralization means when important authority in a few hand and less important authority for completion of task provided to subordinates. Also, it is called decentralization. Last topic, importance of decentralization. Importance of decentralization. Develop initiative among subordinates, passing the authority of middle and lower level, show the trust and faith of top level in their subordinates, and this trust and faith motivate the employees working at different levels as they are allowed to take decision without seeking the approval of superior. Importance of decentralization. When the process of decentralization followed in the organization for the power of take to decision in the hand of the employee. In this case, employee feel that top level trust to them, faith to them, and in this case they get motivated for hard work, and employee or subordinates can take decision without seeking the approval of superior. डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन के थ्रू एम्प्लॉई को ये फील होता है कि टॉप लेवल उन पर ट्रस्ट करता है, उन पर फेथ करता है. इस केस में सबऑर्डिनेट्स मोटिवेट होते हैं और सबऑर्डिनेट्स कुछ डिसीजन लेने की सिचुएशन में जब क्रिएट होती है तो वो बिना सुपीरियर के कोई भी डिसीजन ले सकते हैं. नंबर 2, develop managerial talent in future. In the decentralization, manager working at lower and middle level also learn the art of making decision. They get the experience of performing activities of top executive and learn to manager to authority given to them. So decentralization process prepares the manager working at lower and middle level to perform the task of top level. So whenever there is a vacant job position at top level management, the managers working at lower or middle level can promoted. This is how it levels talent for future. For the process of decentralization, when provided authority to lower and middle level manager, talent of the lower and middle level manager is improved. In this case, they can learn the task of top level also, and in future any vacant position arises, then middle and lower level manager can promoted for the top level. डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन से मिडिल लेवल और लोअर लेवल के मैनेजर का टैलेंट और इम्प्रूव होता है, बिकॉज दे वर्क फॉर टॉप लेवल, दे वर्क लाइक एज टॉप लेवल. और जब वो टॉप लेवल की तरह वर्क करते हैं तो जब भी टॉप लेवल मैनेजमेंट में पोस्ट वैकेंट होती है तो मिडिल और लोअर लेवल के मैनेजर को उसमें प्रमोट करके टॉप लेवल की पोजीशन वो गेन कर सकता है. नंबर 3, क्विक डिसीजन मेकिंग. इन द डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन प्रोसेस, decision making is not restricted in few hand only, but decision making power is entrusted to all the manager who are taking action or performing the activities. This lead to faster decision because employees who have to perform the activities are allowed to take decision also. In the case of decentralization, decision making fast or quick decision making, because in the decentralization process, the authority provided to subordinates or manager of middle level and lower level. In this case, decision making faster or quick decision making is possible, because manager of lower level and middle level can take decision in any situation, because decentralization provided the power to take the decision. So quick decision making in the case of decentralization is possible. डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन के थ्रू लोअर और मिडिल लेवल के मैनेजर को भी डिसीजन लेने का पावर होता है, और इस केस में ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम्स, कोई भी मैटर्स हो तो डिसीजन क्विकली हो जाते हैं. नंबर 4, रिलीफ टू टॉप लेवल मैनेजमेंट. In the process of decentralization, top level managers are not overburdened with the responsibilities and authority, as they systematically passes the authority and responsibility at different levels, and they become free to concentrate core and important issues. By the process of decentralization, workload of the top level also reduce, because in the case of decentralization provided authority to fulfill the responsibility, so workload of the manager, top level manager reduces, and then the top level management concentrate on important issue, on core issues. डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन के थ्रू टॉप लेवल का वर्कलोड कम होता है, क्योंकि रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के साथ उसको फुलफिल करने के लिए अथॉरिटी भी प्रोवाइड होती हैं, और ऐसे केस में जब अथॉरिटी भी प्रोवाइड होती हैं और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फुलफिल हो जाती हैं तो टॉप लेवल का वर्कलोड कम होता है, और टॉप लेवल इस केस में इम्पॉर्टेंट कोर इम्पॉर्टेंट टास्क की ओर कॉन्सेंट्रेट कर सकता है. नंबर 5, facilitates growth. Decentralization grant more autonomy or freedom to lower level. This helps the subordinate to do work in the manner best suited for their department. When each department is doing their best, then productivity increase and it will generate more revenue which can be used for expansion. In the case of decentralization, lower level subordinates or lower middle level employee or manager free for their work, free for their decision. In this case, they work together properly and increase the productivity and also increase the revenue and also helpful in expansion of the business. डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन की प्रोसेस के थ्रू लोअर लेवल और मिडिल लेवल के एम्प्लॉय, सबऑर्डिनेट्स एंड मैनेजर डिसीजन लेने के लिए फ्री होते हैं, और जब वो फ्री होते हैं तो वो अपना काम प्रॉपर वे में फुलफिल करते हैं, जिससे प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज होती है, और आल्सो प्रोडक्टिविटी के साथ साथ रेवेन्यू भी जनरेट होता है, जो कि बिजनेस एक्सपांशन के लिए यूज़ हो सकता है. Better control. In decentralization, employees working at different levels take their own decision and they are personally accountable for their decision. They cannot pass the blame to their superior. With decentralization, better control can be exercised through scorecard management information system. Better control. By the process of decentralization, proper control can be maintained on the employee. Because in the process of decentralization, if the task is not completed, the employee is accountable for the answer for incompletion of task. So in this case, superior are not responsible, not accountable, or not answerable. In this case, all the employees answerable. So in this case, the proper and systematic control can be maintained on the employee by scorecard, and management information is maintained systematically and properly. So here the importance of decentralization. So here our fifth chapter is over. Some differences, delegation and decentralization. It is for you. Read it properly. Thank you and have a nice day.